We turn now to the race for 181st District Court Judge in the Republican primary and are joined by Judge Tatiana Frosta and Quentin Todd Hatter. We'll begin with Judge Frosta. The first question is, what has been the nature of your law practice over your career, and how long have you been in practice?
I have been in practice since 2009. Since being licensed to practice law, I immediately started practicing in family law and criminal law. I also did some Social Security law. However, I have primarily focused on family law and criminal law the entirety of my career, which are the largest caseload of this court. I have tried jury trials in both of those practice areas. During my time at the Underwood Law Firm, I began doing some general civil litigation, working on very large civil cases, which is the third area of law heard by this court. So I've spent the entirety of my career working on family and criminal, and then the latter part of my career doing general civil litigation, which has prepared me for the caseload of this court and afforded me the ability to immediately go to work on this bench after being appointed in September of 2020.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Hatter. What has been the nature of your law practice over your career, and how long have you been in practice?
Well, my law practice actually began as a police officer with the city of Amarillo. I served as a Texas peace officer for more than 6 years. I obtained an intermediate peace officer certificate licensing with the state of Texas. I later went to law school, was licensed in the state of Oklahoma first, thrown in the deep end of the pool with a felony defense practice or a group of cases of nearly 100 felony cases with individuals facing potential life sentences. Practiced in both Oklahoma and Texas. I've tried more than 400 cases in front of more than 50 judges. The bulk of my practice has been criminal law and family law, but I also handle civil litigation. So I've tried contract cases, CPS, juvenile cases. I am licensed, as I said, in both states. Have been licensed since 2007 was when I was first licensed as an attorney, and I'm admitted to all the U.S. district courts in Texas and Oklahoma.
We will remain with Mr. Hatter for the next question. What sort of cases will you be hearing as a judge in this court, and what is your experience with those types of cases?
I expect that the majority of cases are going to be criminal and family law, and probably the majority of that split being criminal cases. My experience is I have trial experience. First chair, which means the lead attorney or the only attorney in murder trials, rape, aggravated sexual assault of a child, aggravated robbery, manufactured delivery of controlled substance with deadly weapon. So all types of drug cases, DWIs, juvenile cases involving criminal law. Now, this court doesn't hear juvenile cases, but I have extensive experience with criminal cases and family law, dealing with divorce, separation, child custody, and property division types of disputes. That is the bulk of what this court handles, though it is a court of general jurisdiction.
Turning now to Judge Frosta. What sort of cases would you be hearing as a judge in this court, and what is your experience with that type of case?
181st is a court of general jurisdiction hearing family law cases, criminal cases, as well as general civil cases. The bulk of the caseload is family law and criminal law. Criminal law in both counties, Potter and Randall, makes up the bulk of the caseload. I have experience in criminal law in that I was a criminal defense lawyer for the entirety of my career. I have tried cases in criminal cases to a jury, to a final verdict. In family law, I have also represented numerous parties in family law cases, divorces, child custody, child support, adoption cases, the whole gambit. I am a frequent presenter at state CLEs on family law issues. I have tried family law jury trials. Since being on the bench, I have presided over several criminal jury trials in this court, as well as non-jury proceedings in both criminal, family, and civil cases. And I immediately went to work on those once taking the bench.
Thank you. Continuing with Tatiana Frosta, what are some of the issues in the justice system that need to be addressed in the counties this court serves?
One of the main issues right now is just efficiency, tackling the backlog that has been caused before the pandemic and the backlog that has been caused as a result of the pandemic. So getting cases to final hearing more speedily, and also clearing out the backlog that these dockets are seeing, and that's across Potter County and Randall County. The other thing that I feel is important in both counties is that the rule of law be applied equally and fairly to everyone that comes before the courts. I'm not saying that that's necessarily an issue, but it is very important to me and always on my mind that, one, the law is being upheld and that everyone that comes into the courtroom is treated fairly.
Thank you. And finally, the same question for Quentin Todd Hatter. What are some of the issues in the justice system that need to be addressed in the county that this court serves?
I believe a court is supposed to be fiscally responsible. I believe that the budget that's allocated to court should be observed. I believe that a lot of that deals with incarceration of individuals. It deals with recognizing early signs and symptoms of mental illness, mental impairment. So I believe that courts and their staff need to be able to be trained to recognize signs and symptoms of individuals suffering from mental illness or mental impairment. I believe the court needs to work closely with area professionals, health professionals, the jail staff at each of the respective jails. I think that efficiently handling these cases will go a long way towards problem solving on the backlog of cases to which Ms. Frosto speaks. I believe it's important that you have a judge that's available. It's not just an 8 to 5 judge. I vow, I promise I will be available.